Great Biafrans all over the world, I greet you and I wish you happy Sunday. All lovers of freedom, all seekers of justice, all well-meaning, good people of Biafra, in diaspora, here at home, and all of you who have contributed in one way or the other, you are welcome. Akpan Asokwa is here live and direct. Today, I want you people to understand what ihediomimi that is happening in our land, in Biafran land, in the Igbo part of Biafra. The former Anambra state, to be precise, Ikemba state, now Ato Ezenukpo, like Aton Zeribe. Fellow Biafrans, please, if you are just coming in, our lifeline is here. Lifeline is there. You can call if you are to make any input. Yes, and we want you to share this video so that many people will come to see what is our challenge, what we are treating, and probably make their input. Without taking much of your time, I would want us to understand, like we were trying to establish some 4 days or 3 days ago, where a man in Imo State, a man, like it is a very rampant thing in Biafran land until the brigade established the armed group, the Biafran Liberation Army, the Biafran forces, all now who are trying to ameliorate or control, put in control the excesses of those criminals who call themselves leaders in Igbo land, in Urobo land, in Ijo land, in Ishekiri, in Oron, in Okarafod, in all Biafran land. All those people who are there superintending over their affairs under the Nigerian government misrule. So the Biafran Liberation Army under the brigade is trying to address all of this. You can see all the updates. I don't need to tell you about that. You are all in one platform or the other. So now I want to bring to your notice what is really happening. You can see the topic here. If Igbos don't stop Aton Zeribe, Ato Ezenukpo, who is also acting like Aton Zeribe, who sold his people countlessly because of money. Now, if Igbos don't stop Ato Ezenukpo now, their sorrow will become worse than that of Middle Belt. You know what ordeal the Middle Belt are passing through today? Because they were fooled by the Fulani Caliphate into understanding and accepting one north, and they sheepishly accepted the front, the one front they called Northern Front or Northern Agenda they projected, not knowing that they were, after all, serving as a tool in the hands of the crafty power mongers of a tribe who trooped down from South Sudan and occupied a territory which is supposed to be the Hausa people and their brothers, the Nupes and the Gwari and all of them in the Hausa part there, or the tribes there. But the Fulani came in and they used their craft like they used on Afonja to permeate into the heart of the leaders or the rulers hitherto of the Hausa land. And today this is where it has brought them. They have become a conquered people. So today, We have some group of Afonjas in our land that we must take care of. Akban Asokwo from Biafran Radical Freedom TV is here, live and direct. So I want you, all lovers of freedom, if you are online, if you are online now, please begin to troop in here. I know all of different platforms are on today doing programs. But still find your time here and let us see what is happening in our land. Aton Ezenukbo, like Aton Zeribe, have sold the peace of his people, the Igbo people of Biafran land, because he wants to remain relevant, remain in affluence and in influence on the altar of over 70 million people. He has sacrificed the peace of the safety, the security of over 70 million people because of his selfish gain. And this is not what will continue to happen. Otherwise, you people will be less than human. I am talking to you, our Igbo brothers, the Igbo Biafrans. You are leading yourself, you are heading into a regrettable end if you continue in this your new docile, because the Igbo people are not known for this docility. The people we know as Igbos used to be very brave and courageous people. They used to be warlords, warriors of different ages. What are you people in this current age, the Igbos of this age, what are you becoming? You left Ato Ezenukbo to conquer you. The Abagana people, the case where this writer hails from, this lady that is supporting P2B, instead of supporting his freedom for once for all, and not going into an expired contraption, supporting P2B as they were clamoring for Igbo presidency, doesn't change anything. However, we don't want to deviate. If we must deviate, it shouldn't be this topic. So, Igbo people, Anambra people, what has become of you? Look at what is happening in other parts of Biafran land. Everybody is becoming very courageous enough to confront the aggressors. They don't want to care whose house is God, no matter who is the politician or from their own local government or from wherever. They don't care. They only understand that the enemies will put them in a regrettable shoe forever if they don't stop this. Irrespective of the imposed Fulani errand boy of a governor in the person of hopeless Uzodimba, the Imo people of old, but now in the Owerri state or Olu states are saying no, enough is enough. We are standing, the people from Aba as usual are standing very strong, unless for the subtleness of the incumbent governor there, who seems to be more peaceful and not interfering in the freedoms, and because of that, the Aba people are not seeming to, or challenge him. And as long as he is not disturbing the freedom movement, he is trying to do whatever he do within the short period the Nigerian state will still exist. Now, Anambra people, what is your own? Boy, people of the old, now the is our state, the Abakaliki state, and these people are all waking up to the realities. But Anambra, what is the problem? What is the problem? Look at what happened in Anambra state. Let me play this video, but I think I still have to emphasize on it. I prepared this video last week. Oh, sorry, some 3 days ago. I was having problem with the internet and it was coming and going, so I didn't. It was so cut short. So let me show you from here. You know, that day we were trying to bring. We told you the Fulani finished with the Yoruba people. Then the Yoruba people bowed to their superior fire powers as they claimed. Now they say they are now done with Yoruba, who have bowed and signed the undertaking to cooperate with them and allow them operate in their land. Without which they will not have the peace. They will not have access to their farmland. They will continue to be ravaged by poverty, by food insecurity. The Fulani militia, the terrorist leader, was even emphasizing that upon the pact, the signing of the pact. The man was emphasizing it. Without this, these people will not have peace. So these people are bowing to their firepower to have their peace. So they say they are done with the Yoruba since they have bowed. It is time for the Igbo man to bow. If Igbo man bows, Nigeria is totally the indigenous people occupying the territory known as today, where Frederick Lugard and his girlfriend, after making love by our river bank, by our river side, out of love, the name came forth, Nige area. The name intended to denigrate, to bring us lower. Nige area. And we accepted it, and a lot of Olodos are ready to defend it even with their lives. A pitiable situation. Let us see what we were trying to say here that day. Okay, while the volume is coming forth, I don't know how to fasten it, but while the process is going, I think I can even decide to cut it off and give it, because I have, okay, let me cut short this part. Maybe toward the end of the video I'll put it, the program. Okay, that day, that fateful day, a man was attacked by the Fulani terrorists. They entered the Fulani terrorists, the farmland. This farmland is just by the man's backyard, the same house where he lives. This is not, it is the community direct, not like their farm area. It is the living place where the community people are inhabiting, the direct living square. Now these people take their cattle because there are people like Ato Ezenupo in the land who has pledged to the Caliphate, assured them of protection, that the villagers will do nothing. Now this man, he gave the story here, and the village people affirmed to it. They are doing it to the whole village people, but this man came out to challenge it, because the man he was a Biafran veteran, and he is very old and sick too. So the man is willing to give up, to stand it to the end, no matter what is the result. Now the man, he grew the maize. They came, they destroyed it. He grew other things, they destroyed it. The fourth time is this one, he grew cassava there. Then this guy had the audacity to come to that community and destroy the food crop, everything. A very large landmark. And the community people who have been subdued, that they are living in fear, had to watch the Fulani man before them having the audacity to confront and reply them with a higher level of arrogance. We are not dwelling on that part again. So I was to bring this as a second story that day. In the same Anambra state, in Ukulu, this lady was raped front and back. This lady, before her husband, but see how it happened. The woman is telling her story, was calling on Soludo, so that you will understand how far, to the extent. Then after I will ask you a question. The woman said, this is my story. I am a native of Ukulu, married to Nogo, where you have a D Nogo. So on the 17th day of April, just last week, 2024, of just this last week, we came back to celebrate the marriage of my daughter. As we were driving to Ukulu through Aba Junction, after LD, I will connect this story. If you know where it's Aba, after LD, we saw cow crossing the road and stopped. Immediately, the cattlemen blocked the road and brought out guns and ordered us into the bush. They tied our hands behind us. They started beating us. Some farmers saw us and looked away because they know the consequence if they had intervened. They did not help us. In the bush, they raped me and my maid before my husband. Every time without mercy, they brutally pounced on this woman. Let us continue. The third man tear my husband's trousers and continued to rape him in the anus. They took our phone and ordered us to start calling our friends and family. They demanded 400 million naira for each of us, or they will kill us. After 3 days of they continue to rape us by this cattle. After 3 days of continuing to rape us by these cattlemen, my maid was sick and vomited blood. She was vomiting blood. My husband is dying as his anus is teared in pieces. It was teared to pieces. I cannot stand up properly due to continued rape. I am wishing I had died in that bush. My son-in-law gathered 15 million naira and they directed him to main market Onitsha to buy cash. It is obvious the Fulani people are working with the money changers. The woman is still telling her story. They released us on Saturday, and my son-in-law rushed us to hospital at Asaba. Your Excellency, please, save your people by having that bush surrounded by security people. Please, chase out these evil cowmen from Anambra State. Please, stop them from wasting lives, even as we are living. They bring 2 other boys captives. That bush is their base. Those boys will be there now, I'm very sure. Please, help call Igwe Ugulu and Nogo to take responsibility. I am now a living dead due to Fulani in my town. Imagine the temerity. Even the villagers cannot react again, maybe due to fear. Please, Your Excellency, free your people. This is my last wish. Thank you. Okay, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world, I trust you understand and you followed us while we read the piece written by this woman before she committed suicide. I'm sure she finally did that. She couldn't take the pain. Now look at the situation. That community, I think, is Aba. Now Aba is a community towards Ukpo. Yes, Aba. They are that Ukpo axis. Now you remember when this Aba people had problem with Ukpo people. Ukpo used thousands of Nigerian security men to intimidate the community people. At a point, he kidnapped the king. Let's leave that story. That was why when Chimamanda Adichie came forth to challenge and request, she was even threatened that she will even languish in jail. She will be put to jail and nobody will speak for her. And that was the fate. Now, this same Chimamanda Adichie, when the issue of Biafra and our freedom was raised, I suppose she once wrote a poetry, a novel about this Biafran war. And this lady today, when the issue of our freedom was raised once again, and a man of sincerity is in the forefront, this woman turned against the freedom, instead pursued bias. She wanted his brother to be Anambra state governor. Oh, his brother to be president. He wanted a fellow Anambra man, a fellow Anambarian to be president. Not caring to know how long, even if this man was to become the president, how long he was going to stay in that office, and how everything, if he has the ability to correct anything, will still return immediately he leaves that office. Because this is not the first time. She never bothered. Now, this woman, we are talking about her. I emphasized, I tried to, flashed into the one I discussed 3 days or 4 days ago about the man whose farmland was run down. And the man was demanding that he must be compensated, or he will gun down that man, not the cattle. Because the cattle is an ordinary animal. Doesn't have the reason of its own. So it's the person that brought the cattle to the farmland. And the community people, out of cowardice, this is the same case again. The community people who saw when the Fulani was whisking this man away, this woman and her family, they couldn't intervene. I have another video to show you. Then this is where our discussion will totally be anchored on. Fellow Biafrans, do you know that these community people now are living in absolute fear? Because there is a man called out to Ezonuko who wants to continue to have oil block license on the altar of his people's safety. He doesn't care what happens or what becomes of his people. Anambra government, just like the other southeast, south and the southwest, including Middle Belt, came together in 2022 ahead of the 2023 general confusion and general a joke of selection they called election. These people gathered to say that they will not be allowing the Fulani to rule over them again, and they will not be surrendering to the cattle colony agenda of the Fulani. Today, we have a professor whose only vocation is to speak lengthy grammar. And this same man is ready to do anything after he had talked about Biafra before he became a governor. He held several town hall meetings to call for government to look into the Biafran people's issues. And he gave a body language of him going to be a better person who want the government of Nigeria, if they want Biafran people to still exist together, to address the 3 R's. Reconstruction, rehabilitation, and the 3 R's. The 3rd R is just escaping. And reconciliation. Now, he said that none of these 3 have been visited by Nigerian state. Today, he is using everything in his arsenal to fight that same thing he stood for once. Shamelessly, like all of his contemporaries, even those before him. He is today fighting against the same thing he was proposing, he was standing for. Very shamelessly. Now this lady now is calling on this shameless governor. Why? Because this lady never knew that a day like this will come in her life. When you talk about Biafran freedom, when you talk about how the Igbo man, how the Ijo man, how the Irobo man, how all the Biafran nationalities, the Biafran people, have no life in this state called Nigeria. They don't want to ever accept it. Today, one after another, it is getting done on everyone. If you are yet to, don't worry, I will show you another video. Then that at this point you will understand. Everyone, whoever stood against this thing, he will drink of the same cup, of the poisoned cup that he was part of arranging. All of you who condemn this Biafran agitation, who condemn our freedom quest, you will have a kiss of what you bargained for. This woman, instead of talking about our freedom, even on that, is calling upon that unknown, is calling on the Nigerian state, the Soludo, who has no solution. He is calling on Soludo, who has no solution, to give her solution. Sorry, madam. It is a pity it happened to you. It could have been anyone. But unfortunately, Soludo has nothing to do for you. Soludo is under oath to protect the Caliphate interest. You watched him. I am addressing you, woman. If you are in the grave, if you are anywhere today, I am addressing you. Soludo, you watched Soludo after the election of where his brother was part of, contested. And his brother was supposed to be better than all the people in the race. He worked against his brother while it was in context in the court. The man who has several charges of crime ranging from drug and all kind of things, bully and whatever, including the recent NFAS case. Soludo went to congratulate the man. And in the way of nature, Kama had a good handshake with him. He was dearly embarrassed. He was walked out because as a special person, he would have, he enjoyed the privilege of, he's supposed to enjoy the privilege of taking anywhere into, to see the president-elect, the select, or the president rigged in. But he was disgraced. Diligently, meticulously, and it was done on him, although the spirit of betrayal was still forcing itself on him, and he was busy welcoming that spirit. Just like you, madam, sorry to use your situation. It is an appalling situation because I know those of us who stay here, who stay in the north, we know how we coordinate ourselves. How dare you? How dare you? Kedu mo chili yozo where you go for Fulani land, enter their farmland, go cut one leaf, one garden egg, top put for your mouth. You just smoke. Who you be when Fulani people will interrogate you? You don't tell them they no video you. Abba, kill on so. Wetin the apple? Igbo people, wetin the apple? Wetin the shell gong? Una shop wish. Wetin the happen these days? The Igbo people where we been know say una they get courage. Wetin the apple? I they ask. Come on. How you look at your sister and her family was to be whisked into the forest, and you were farmers, and you know that there are a lot